So here's the thing. His original motivation was to develop a unique performance matrix for training and identifying junior athletes, but quickly found a subset of AI. Now, we all know AI is quickly dominating the technology industry, called computer vision, and realized he could design a program to automate parts of bike fit. So this is where we're getting into all this cool bike fit stuff, because that's what Jesse does. 2 years later, he created this program and community called MyVeloFit. Now, he launched MyVeloFit, has now empowered riders all over the world to improve their cycling position on their own by providing AI-based recommendations for the positioning. And that's what we're going to be talking about after. Now, Jesse, of course, finds time to do other things, such as getting on his bike when he has time, getting back to it. And he bike fits at Bushtukah in Ottawa. And he also, like me, is looking forward to suffering on Tuesday night crit nights if they ever come back. So welcome to the podcast, Jesse. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks, Sylvie. That was, I appreciate the introduction.
Well, I love bringing individuals on the podcast that are doing extraordinary cool things with regards to cycling. And when I saw this, as usual, scoping around the Facebook bike pages, and I'm like, hey, now that's cool. So I saw Jesse, and we're going to get into this, but first we're going to ask Jesse about his background, how he got into cycling. So Jesse, give us a little bit of a background as to where you started cycling and then right into like this whole cool bike fit AI stuff.
So it's funny how often I've heard this story, but I got into cycling through triathlon. So I was, I wouldn't say I was in great shape. I think I was still smoking back then, which was kind of funny. And my brother and I, it was when Simon Whitfield did really well. I think, did he win the Olympics or he podiumed at the Olympics? And as brothers do, as we said, you know, I could beat you at a triathlon. And so we scheduled a triathlon. He lived in Seattle and I lived in Winnipeg at the time. So we were going to do a meet in Montana for a triathlon. And nice. He never trained and never showed up. And
typical, right? Like you're standing there, where's my buddy?
Well, I knew before I got there that he wasn't good. I actually didn't end up doing that one either, but I ended up doing the triathlon, a couple of triathlons that summer, and doing terrible at them other than the bike. And I mean, I hear this story from a lot of my clients. It's like, you know, the only part of it I enjoyed was the cycling. So I got into biking, and I think I did my first crit the next year, and I fell in love with crit racing. So I've always loved hurling myself around a Tuesday night crit course in Manitoba. It was at Assiniboine Park, and there was a formal garden that we raced around, which was really cool. And then moved to Ottawa and quickly realized that the field was a little bit stronger here and bigger. I would race like a 12-person crit in Winnipeg, and that was a big turnout.